who's going to make money. Now, when we started doing we've been doing research since the firm began, 2014, on AI. And we found Nvidia in 2014 because we were asking the question, first principles research, what is an autonomous vehicle going to be? What's going to go in it? And as we start, white sheet of paper, no benchmark to guide our investing. White sheet of paper, we want to see if anything in this space is going to become investable in the next 5 years. Of course, our bet is staying away from these stocks now is going to end badly, and sticking with the benchmark. So they're running for their benchmarks because they think that's where safety lies. The benchmarks are what's going to be disrupted by this massive convergence of innovation platforms.
So I think that's...
Cathie Wood has established herself as a trailblazing investor, known for her innovation-based investment strategy and the ability to generate substantial wealth for investors over the past decade. She was an early adopter of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies when they were still in their infancy, and her firm has been advocating for the potential of artificial intelligence for almost 10 years. Cathie firmly believes that the AI wave is an exponential trend that will surpass even the success of Bitcoin, presenting lucrative opportunities for early investors. In her latest interview, Cathie discusses ARK Invest's unique AI investment framework, highlighting their early identification of Nvidia's potential when its value was only $5. Today, Nvidia stands as a leading player in AI innovation. Despite missing out on Nvidia's remarkable rise, Cathie assures viewers that there are still plenty of opportunities in the AI space. She shares some of her top picks and emphasizes the pivotal roles of companies like AMD, Tesla, and Google, who remain strong contenders in this field, irrespective of Nvidia's current market advantage. While the potential for exponential investment in AI is immense, Cathie underscores the importance of identifying future frontrunners in the sector. She reveals her insights into the future of AI investment, suggesting that it may even outpace the growth of Bitcoin. By watching the video until the end, viewers can gain valuable insights from Cathie about the future of AI investment and the promising prospects that lie ahead.
On an adjusted basis, Nvidia was at $5, and it went to the top, not only of our ARKW, but ARKQ, which is our autonomous technology and robotics. Because if you look at the robotics movement, first of all, autonomous vehicles are robots, right? So this movement, again, very low base, industrial robotics. You look at anything you're looking at drones, robots in Amazon's warehouses, autonomous vehicles generally of all kinds, autonomous trucks. You're going to have the same three variables that are going to make any company the winners in this space. They have to have visionary managements, first and foremost. Bold, don't care what short-term oriented shareholders are saying.
Founder-led when possible.
Yes, when possible. They have to have domain expertise. They have to know what they're doing in their given. They have to bring in artificial intelligence expertise. And once they've got that, there's something else they need that is probably the most important and will determine winners versus losers. The largest pools of high-quality proprietary data. And Tesla has that in the autonomous front. And you were going to ask a question.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, so it was Nvidia back then, split adjusted, $5. We were just piling into it. I mean, we piled into it. We even put some into our ARKG, our genomics fund, because we were learning from Nvidia itself, because we were asking them these questions. They would answer the questions if you asked them. Yeah. No one was asking about genomics. No one was asking about autonomous. And now, of course, everybody knows that the genomics revolution is all about the convergence of these various sequencing technologies, artificial intelligence, and other technologies like CRISPR gene editing. But we do own it. It's in the top 10 of ARKQ because ARKQ, autonomous mobility and robotics, is more of a hardware-centric portfolio.
Okay.
And it is in some of our, we sub-advise some funds for Nikko Asset Management in Japan. So mobility as a service, hardware-centric. So it is in the top 10 of a number of our funds. But we started peeling out of it when this breadth that you pointed to, you had Nvidia tripling.
Yeah.
We bought it at $100 in our flagship last year when it was getting
in a 70% drawdown.
Exactly. Then we saw it on its way to tripling, quadrupling now, since in that short period of time. And we said, well, wait a minute, we'll take profits there. And in ARKK, our flagship, our genomics or multiomics theme was being crushed still, as were some of our other stocks like Roku and Teladoc and Unity and other names that we think are going to be big beneficiaries of artificial intelligence.
So to set the record,
hardware side, AMD, what AMD has done over the last few years vis-a-vis Intel is phenomenal. And I think that they are moving into AI, and don't discount them. Number one.
The market cap is not discount. I think they're getting a lot of credit for AI chips that they are not yet making.
And taking share from Intel.
The stock is up huge.
Yes, it is up huge. But in terms of the competition out there, everyone thinks Nvidia is alone. Tesla has its own AI chip. It pulled Nvidia out of the car and put in its own chip. It's the only auto company. And these are special purpose, whereas Nvidia is more general purpose, right?
Purpose-built for what they're doing.
Everyone still. I mean, when you look at the specs of these chips, Nvidia's ahead. Nvidia saw the future. Now, Google has probably with DeepMind, some of the best AI minds out there. We look at ChatGPT as, could be a mortal risk to Google's base business model.
Well, the speed at which this is happening is hard to put into words. So here's a tweet from Koifin. Nvidia was up 24% yesterday. So this was the day after earnings. But the stock got much cheaper. How does that happen? Next 12-month earnings are 100% higher than before the quarter due to revisions and earnings growth.
Yes.
This is astounding.
Well, this is the ChatGPT moment. And this, I think, is the moment for innovation again. Because, given how bearish everyone had become, it took experimentation personally for people to say, wait a minute, this is crazy. This is crazy. How's this happening? Capture the imagination. So we've talked about the hardware side. Nvidia still is ahead. I mean, you have to give them all kinds
ChatGPT hits the market. There's no launch party. There's no
they didn't
red
expect
carpet.
it. But they were shocked about the response to it.
But the thing hits the mainstream at a moment where the NASDAQ is in a 35% peak to trough drawdown.
Yes.
That's how it always happens.
It does.
Right?
It does.
Okay.
Innovation does surface during those times. So that's the hardware side. Give Nvidia going to do in terms of positioning for the future is collect as much data as possible. Alexa is part of that. So you don't know what they're going to do with this information. I know there are going to be all kinds of privacy concerns. GDPR in Europe is an issue that they all have to be thinking about, especially the larger companies. The metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg has pivoted. Now he's everything AI and efficiency. So that was a jog, and Matthew Ball is right. The market didn't agree with it, punished Meta platforms enormously last year. Now he's pivoted to AI, which is going to increase productivity dramatically. If you look at knowledge worker activity globally, we pay knowledge workers $32 trillion a year, right? And this movement is all about massive productivity gains for knowledge workers. So I look at companies, so when we talk about Nvidia at $5, that was roughly $10 billion market cap, somewhere in the $5 to $10 billion range. There are a lot of companies, stocks in that $10 billion market cap range today. We have been featuring UiPath, which is, some of these names nobody has.
I know that stock. It's small. It got caught up a little bit with the AI stuff. What does UiPath do? It's automation, right?
It's RPA, robotics process automation. And a lot of this is administrative work. So if you listen to the CEO, he'll tell you, the biggest surprise to us as we were evolving this company is that people in BPO, business process operations, they were willing to get together from different companies and share best practices to try and get their costs down. So what they have done is that they're effectively automating using these inputs for all of these companies, the most mundane and administrative tasks possible.
And that's where that productivity increase comes from.
Yes.
More of that kind of thing.
Yeah, more of that kind of thing.
Okay.
If you look at the assembly line for manufacturing, AI is the assembly line for knowledge workers, is effective. And it is one of the best positioned and again, this visionary management is critical because you might have a business like that, but if you are not thinking, I could build a foundation model here, the ultimate foundation model for BPO that the world can use, if you're not thinking in that way, February of 21 basically said, this is nothing but a replay of the tech and telecom bubble. And they drew a chart from that point of the tech and telecom bust. And they said, this is where they are going to go.
I think I might have done that.
You might have done that. And that's what makes a market. And if you shorted us, you did very well. In fact, I think still 20% of ARKK is short. And so we actually declined more than the NASDAQ during the bust. Now, what's fascinating about that is we look at the period from 1980 through the tech and telecom bubble as the period when the seeds for all of the 5 platforms that I mentioned earlier, they were planted back then. But the technologies weren't ready. The internet just captured the imagination, like ChatGPT is doing right now. The internet captured the imagination, and analysts started valuing companies on the number of eyeballs they might get in 10 years' time, something crazy like that. Too much capital chasing too few opportunities too soon. Why? The cloud didn't even happen until 2006, AWS. The first big breakthrough in in AI, deep learning, did not happen until 2012.
Right.
The second big one, transformer technology, natural language processing, which is ChatGPT, which is why we're going to see autonomous driving. That did not happen until 2018. Now we're ready for prime time. What's fascinating, this is going to go down in history, I believe, as a behavioral study, an investment behavioral study to beat all investment behavioral studies. They rushed in the 90s. That ended badly. A lot of the portfolio managers today were young men, and they have that muscle memory, and they remember how maybe their bosses were thrown out or whatever. I've been here before.
I remember. It's my formative memory.
Exactly.
The dot-com bubble.
The last time I heard that expression, exponential growth trajectories, was back then. It ended badly. What are they doing now? We are in a very bearish moment for the market generally. If you look at cash on the sidelines, if you look at how hedge funds are positioned, no one's optimistic. And so our bet, and consider the source, our bet is staying away from these stocks now is going to end badly, and sticking with the benchmarks. So they're running for their benchmarks because they think that's where safety lies. The benchmarks are what's going to be disrupted by this massive convergence of innovation platforms.
So I think that's...
Cathie Wood shares her unique perspective on the future of AI, highlighting the potential giants in the field and the remarkable investment opportunities it presents. As Cathie suggests, the world of AI could surpass the achievements of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. To capitalize on this potential, she emphasizes the importance of staying informed and keeping an eye out for promising players in the AI domain. Being prepared to seize opportunities when they arise is key. If you found this conversation valuable, remember to like and subscribe to help others discover and benefit from this content. Share your thoughts on Cathie's insights and whether you believe AI will truly outshine the crypto space in the comments below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.